If you are relying on just sheer willpower to save money to buy your first multifamily house, it is gonna be really hard. And here's why. 57% of Americans have less than $1,000 in the bank right now. So if you are trying to save tens of thousands of dollars to buy your first house, that's a big feat considering that most of us don't even have a grant in case of emergencies. If you're just trying to rely on brute force and discipline to get it done, it's like, if you love sweets and you have a fresh batch of baked cookies on your countertop and you tell yourself, well, I'm just not going to touch them because I'm on a diet, it's going to be hard for you. A better move would be to just not even have the cookies in the house at all, because then you're not even tempting yourself to even touch the cookies. So when it comes to saving money to buy your first house, you have to use these same mind tricks to put yourself in the best position where you are using systems to help you to save this money, as opposed to trying to rely on your discipline itself. Because if you're part of that 57% right now, it's going to be hard to go from zero to 10, 20, $30,000 for you to buy that first house. And I have been there. I bought my first house when I was making $48,000 and living in New York City. And if y'all know New York City, it is the most expensive city in the whole wide world. So now having to go through regular life making less than 50 grand and also try to save money to buy my first house in that expensive city, that's a lot to do. And the only way that I was able to do it is to put in some systems in place where I was not relying on discipline. One of those things that I did was automating the saving process. Now, before you start automating anything when it comes to your savings, you first want to take the time to understand what is happening with your money. How much are you making exactly, and how much are you spending? And figuring out how much dollars and cents are you able to save every single paycheck to put towards your home savings. Once you have that number, you don't want to be every single paycheck now getting a paycheck, writing that number, or remembering to transfer money from your bank account into your home savings, or worse, just leaving it in your checking account. You don't want to do that, because it's like the cookies. If you see the cookies there, if you see the money there, it's going to be whispering to you, spend me, spend me, spend me. For me, when I see cash in the bank, that is like seeing chocolate cake in the fridge. It'll be there for a minute, but it will not be there for long. Let me know in the comments, what is that one food that when you see it, you just can't control yourself? Let me know what it is. Mine is chocolate cake. The more barriers you put for yourself to save this money, the harder it is going to be. So when you automate saving that money, it makes things a lot easier for you, because now you're not relying on you remembering. You're not relying on the willpower for you to be able to save this money. And so you have a couple of options. I have used both. Both work well. It just depends on what is available to you with your employer. So option number one is to use direct deposit to save this money. Some companies allow for you to connect multiple bank accounts to your direct deposit. And if that is the case, you can have your regular account where most of your money goes to. Then you also attach an additional account where now you're going to be moving your home savings money directly from your paycheck via direct deposit into an account. You can only do this though if your company allows for multiple accounts to be attached. Not all companies allow this. And if they don't, it is totally fine. You can still use automation. But now you'll do your direct transfer into your regular checking account. And from there, immediately, you are going to do a transfer from that account to your savings account, your home savings account. So if you know that you get paid on the 1st and on the 15th, you are going to create a transfer from your regular checking account into your home savings account on those same days, automatically, like clockwork, every single 1st and 15th. You are not going to go ahead and manually do the movement yourself, because we all forget things. Life happens. And if we're relying on just our memory, relying on just our discipline to get it done, then we're not going to do it. And if you just leave that money sitting in the same account as your checking account, it is going to be gone. And it is going to be gone quickly. So don't even leave it there. Don't tempt yourself, because you don't have to. Just set up the automatic withdrawals. You do want to keep that home savings account separate. So let's say you didn't keep it separate and you kept it with your vacation money. Then now you have to be tracking how much is for vacation, how much is for the home savings. So don't even put yourself through that. Make it easy, make it simple. Do a whole separate account and just have the money going into that account. So you know that everything in there is specifically for your future home that you are going to buy. Whether you're doing the direct deposit straight into the account or you're transferring from your main account, the key thing that is going to help you to make this really smooth sailing is where that money is going specifically. And the reality is you got to hide that money from yourself. Simple and clear. Because if you keep that home saving money in your regular account that you use all the time, you are going to be seeing that money every single day. And just like the cookies, the more you see that money, the more temptation you have, the more it's going to feel like you got to go out and buy those new shoes. But you really don't. It's just the money trying to tempt you. And so in order to avoid this, you want to put your home savings into an account that is not attached to something that you use every single day. So if your regular checking account that you use every day is Chase, for example, you can connect a savings account to that checking account. Do that, but don't put your home money into that account, because if you do that, every single time you go into your Chase account, you are also going to see that money just sitting there. And the more you see it, the more you're going to want to spend it. So put it in a separate account. If it's in a separate bank institution completely, that is totally fine. I have done that before, and that has what has worked out the best for me, where it is in an institution that is completely separate. It is an institution where it takes a few days to get that money transferred into my regular account. And that just creates extra barriers for myself, or even if I am tempted to use that money, because there's so many barriers to get that money in my actual hands, it gives me time to actually think through, do I actually need it? And even if I slip and transfer it, by the time it actually comes into my account, I probably have rethought the whole thing and I'm going to send it right back. And because you have set up the direct deposits or the direct transfers, you really don't need to be logging into that other account at all unless you are investigating a possible glitch or unless you're at a time where you are actually ready to buy the house. Besides that, it should be pretty automatic. Once you have your automatic transfers plus the account that you don't look at every day, when you put that together, you have way more chances of being successful with saving that money to buy your first multi-family house. I have done both ways. Both ways work for me. It really is just the process of not having to think about it all the time and making it a system that is going to help you to get to where you need to be. Having enough money to buy your house is absolutely important, but there are 3 other things that you want to do before you start looking at houses. Make sure you check out this video right here to get all the details. See you there.